Howdy, howdy, howdy. Happy to be here and happy you're here with me. And if you're new here and enjoy this content, I hope you'll subscribe. So today we're going to talk about the results of my last market. And I am impatiently waiting for my results to pop up because it's taking a while. My event last Saturday was in support of the Star Steppers, which is a fancy way of saying drill team at the local high school. And so they were trying to raise funds for, to be able to go to trips and games and stuff like that. And anyway, so they were throwing a market and all the vendor fees was going towards their donations, And they had food and all that. And it was raining. It did not cancel the event because it was like a constant dreary drizzle all day long. It was very cold. It never got over 40, I think 45 for the whole day. And so it was a little on the miserable side, but I still had pretty good high hopes because, we're talking teenagers. Teenagers love stuffed animals, and of course their parents and their friends, So I really had high hopes for it. And of course when we got there it was already starting to rain. But according to the weather map, after I think it was like 9:15, 9:30, it was supposed to go down, the percentage was supposed to go down to 15% for the day. And I was like, oh good, well, most likely won't be raining. It drizzled all day long without any breaks in it. It was all day. Well, granted, it was only a 4-hour event. It was from 10 to 2. And sadly, only 7 vendors. I am just, how do I want to say it politely? Disappointed in our local area that they couldn't come out and help support such a great team. Yeah. Anyway, I first wanted to say that I donated the big giant pillow that I made as an auction item to help them raise more money. And so hopefully that did raise more money. I hope so. It was it was a sad turnout, and it was, as far as vendors go, it was a sad turnout, and the weather was just, if it was me just sitting at home, I wouldn't go out in that mess either. But, anyway, I'm just really surprised there weren't more vendors for such a great cause. I'm really surprised there weren't more vendors. Let's see. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty of it. I had a pretty good day money-wise, other than being cold and wet. I ended up selling 23 items, and we're still waiting for this to load. Apparently the cloud cover is really bad today. Let's see. Alright, here we go. It costed me $25 booth fee. And I was estimating that I would make about $300. And it was a 4-hour show. I grossed 403. And that was 245 of that was square and 158 was cash. And I paid hubby $56. Okay, so I just want to pause here real quick. About hubby. The reason why I pay hubby is so that he can have some pocket money in his pocket, because he is retired and he never sees a paycheck anymore. It just goes straight to the bank and none in his pocket. So it's all about the pocket money and making the old man feel like he's got some money. That's all. It's not that he's, an employee or anything like that. I just like to make him feel a little like he's getting something out of it. You know what I mean? It's just me. I think that it's just something that I want to do. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so I grossed 403, but I netted 322. And I was wrong. That was 25 items. And out of the day, the biggest seller was scrubbies. I sold 5 sets of scrubbies and 3 tiny frogs. So those were the best sellers of the day. I had a lot of one-offs, and I ended up spending a little bit of money. The girls had cocoa, and of course it's cold, it's wet, and I really wanted some cocoa. So I ended up in that 4 hours drinking 3 cups of cocoa. So I ended up spending just a little bit of money. And I did purchase something for hubby and myself. And the lady, she had a little booth, not a whole lot of things, but definitely handmade with leather and cowhides. And all of her proceeds from that day were going towards the team. And I thought that was really cool. I was like, wow, I wish I could afford to do that. But she had these little notepad covers where it's just a notepad cover out of leather. I mean, it's got that strong leather smell. And here's the other one, just a little notepad cover, and I thought that was so cute. And she was selling them for $5 a piece. I was like, oh wow, that's neat. So I picked those up, as well as some cocoa. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through what I sold. And first up, I sold a sea turtle for $10. And then 2 scrubby sets for $10 a piece. And another scrubby set for $10. 2 frogs at $5 a piece. A bee for $15, a sea turtle for $15, a planter, the sloth planter, for $15, a chick for $8, I finally sold the hedgehog for $15, a snowman for $25, a Highland cow for $25. Well, that Highland cow, this girl came into my booth like 3 times wanting that Highland cow and brought her grandmother over to look at it, and then they left, and then she came back and she had her grandmother's card. She could buy whatever she wanted. So she got that Highland cow and a little frog for $5. She really wanted that cow. Um, and then one chicken for $18, one mushroom for $8, one llama for $25, one chick for $8, one chicken for $18, one dragon for $45. And I even made sure that lady saw the price tag. I was like, you saw this, right? She goes, yeah. I was like, okay, good, because the last time I had somebody not pay attention to the price tag, and she was scared. All right, and then a large sea turtle for $30 and an owl for $25. And then a scrubby for $10, a washcloth for $8, a scrubby set for $10, and a duck for $25. And that was $403. Not bad. Not bad considering it was a rainy, drizzly day. that didn't seem like it had much promise in it. But those girls actually made my day. Just really. There were so many of them, the dancers. There were so many of them in my tent. This one girl was standing right there at my checkout, and she turns around and she goes, "Y'all are making me feel claustrophobic." And I was like, "Hey, I definitely felt it myself, but it's a nice problem to have sometimes." But anyway, so that really went well, and we ended up packing everything up still in the rain. And so yesterday, hubby spent all day outside drying everything, and the tent and the walls and the chair. My chair was soaking wet. It just, it was a bad day. I even had to dry my shoes. But anyway, it turned out pretty good. Oh, and I wanted to let y'all know, I heard from the lady at the museum, and they have completely sold out of my brontosauruses. I was going to look at that. What did I send over to the museum? So I sent out over 6 T-Rexes and 5 Brontos and 2 Triceratops. Those are what I still had in inventory. And they've already sold all the Brontos. And so I am having to whip out some new Brontos. And I got my crochet right here. And I have already got 2 finished. So that's what my day looks like. Gonna get some Brontos done. I've been playing around with a new pattern. It's not really new compared to what's on the internet, but I wanted to make sure that it was similar in size to the T-Rexes and Triceratops that I already have there. And so here's the brontosaurus. That one, the tail is, I definitely got the tail way too long. But this one, the tail is quite smaller. I'm still playing around with these patterns. I'm not sure it's exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm definitely going to keep trying. I wanted something that was going to be a little bit faster than my own dinosaur pattern that I already have, but I'll just play around with it until I'm finally happy with it. This one's pretty close to what I'm looking for. I think that's pretty good size, shape. We'll see. Alright, well, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.